What is up guys, Andy Forest Team Runner here, and today I'm giving you my first impressions on the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2. So welcome back to another video guys, and today, as I said in the intro, we're going to be going through my first impressions of the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2. 7 miles done and dusted out there today, had an absolutely excellent run, really enjoyed it, feeling great, and today this shoe accompanied me along the way. I've got some interesting thoughts about this thing, I cannot wait to dive in, but of course if you're new to the channel, do not worry, there will be plenty more videos on this shoe coming your way. I do like to give all my shoes a thorough test. There will be a speed test, there will be a long run test, and of course then my final thoughts. But for now, I just want to give you my first impressions. So if you're excited for today's video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and without further ado, let's dive in. So let's go through this shoe from a technical but a non-technical aspect in terms of the build and the design and all of that good stuff, and then we can talk about how I found this shoe on its very first run, what my expectations are for the future, and looking forward to the other testing that we're going to be doing in the future. But just before that, why did we choose the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2? Well, it's a very good question. It was a toss-up between this and the New Balance Rebel. Of course, I've got the New Balance Fuel Cell Propel. Was keen to get the Rebel. A lot of you guys have recommended it, and I was so close to buying it, but then I kind of thought to myself, well, I've already bought 2 pairs of New Balance recently. I kind of wanted to give Nike another chance after the disaster that was the Nike Zoom Fly 3, in my opinion, of course. I know some of you guys have different opinions. It's just not a shoe that I've really managed to click with, get on with. I'm kind of hoping that they're going to redeem themselves with this shoe. So without further ado, that's why we chose it. Let's dive into the construction side of things, starting with the heel counter, working all the way down to the toes, and then the outsole. As always, as I've seen with a lot of Nike shoes this year, very thin material used around the heel counter area, with just in here on this side and then this side, a little bit of padding just to sit under the ankle bone. Sits nicely for me and it fits really well. But as always, with like I did in the Nike Zoom Fly 3 actually, experiencing in my first run in this thing a little bit of heel slippage. As a lot of you guys know, in 2019 the heel flare has been quite a thing with some New Balance shoes, and in the Pegasus 36 trail shoe there's a bit of a heel flare. This thing has a bit of a tapered down heel, so it's a bit shorter, and I did notice that on the run. I did notice that my heel was slipping a little bit, very similar to the Nike Zoom Fly 3. I don't know if that's the thinner materials, but that's how this thing is constructed, again, to keep it lightweight. Moving down, another typical what I would call Nike thin tongue. Again, similar to other Nike shoes that I've been running in this year, the Peg Trail and the Nike Zoom Fly 3. But nice and comfortable, nothing wrong with it, nice and comfortable, and a very solid lacing system. I don't like, well, for those of you who watch my review videos, you'll know I don't like any faffing around with the lacing systems, no fly wire, none of that rubbish, just a nice, simplistic lacing system that is sturdy and is going to lock down your foot. As I said, although a bit of heel slippage, I did feel that I can get my foot locked down nicely in this shoe. And this lacing system is decent laces, not too long, so yeah, felt very good about that. And then of course we have this kind of one-piece mesh upper, very breathable, very lightweight, Not quite as breathable, I think, as some of the other shoes I've run in. Some of the other shoes I can literally see through the toe box area into the sole of the shoe. This I can't, but I do feel that it's very lightweight and feels very nice. And what about the colourway on this thing? It is a nice colour. I had the choice between the green, the black, and these, and I just wanted to be different. I just thought I will have these. Absolutely loving the different colour on this thing. And as per the Nike Zoom Fly, we have a big Nike swoosh here. Not quite as big as the Zoom Fly 3. That thing is just way too much. But we have it here, and that, in my opinion, is satisfactory. So a nice, decent upper there. And then, of course, we move on to the outsole, the Zoom X outsole, Zoom X midsole. Some of you guys corrected me in some of my recent videos. I've been talking rubbish about the Peg Trail having Zoom X. It doesn't, it has Cushlon and air pockets in it, and that's why that thing's deteriorated fast. So this is the first time running in the Zoom X midsole, and it feels good. It feels nice. I do like it. It's responsive. It's cushioned, but it's not too soft. I can understand why people rave about it. I'm keen to get more miles in it just to kind of break it in a little bit, because it didn't give me that wow factor, but it felt good. And then on the outsole, we have some nice traction here with some outsole rubber. Again, very thin, very lightweight. The one thing I say about this shoe is traction, I think, is going to be an issue in the wetter weather. I don't know if you guys have experienced that. This is just from first impressions. As you saw in my video today, I did run on a bit of concrete and a bit of the buffed out trails that we have around here, hence why these are a little bit muddy. I didn't feel too sturdy in some of the areas where it was a little bit muddy. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't running through muddy puddles and stuff like that. But there were just a few parts of the trail which were a little bit softer underfoot, and this thing didn't feel too sturdy. I mean, to be expected, the lugs and the pattern on it is not deep at all. It's a very flat surface. But I can also imagine this being maybe a little bit of a problem on the wet concrete. Let me know in the comments below if you've experienced anything. However, a very solid and durable midsole, outsole, something I think I'm going to get some decent miles out of. So that, in a very technical, non-technical way, is the build and construction of this shoe. So what were my first impressions of the shoe? How are we going to be testing it out moving forwards? And how do I see myself using the shoe? Well, very, very, very first thoughts out of the box. So they're very comfy to slip on. First few miles, or first 7 miles in this shoe were interesting. They were good. They were good. They were enjoyable. But it didn't give me the wow factor that I kind of hoped that it would give me. For £160, I always look at shoes when I buy them from a money perspective, because I know a lot of you guys that watch these videos, and me, myself included, you know, money is quite tight, therefore I have to spend it wisely. And when you're looking at shoes like this at a premium price, you're expecting a premium service delivered. And I just didn't quite feel that today. However, I don't know if that's just because I was running easy in a shoe that is meant to take you places in a fast kind of way. I'm super, super excited to test this thing out on the speed workout. And to be fair, this thing did really, really well today. And the highlights for me, the Zoom X midsole foam, it felt really good. I can understand the hype around that midsole. It was good. It was really, really good. I just don't know if the construction of it let it down. The heel slipping bugged me. It's not a big bugbear. I've put a decent amount of mileage in the Zoom Fly 3 with the same issue, and I'll continue to do the same in this thing. It doesn't bug me, nor does it give me blisters on my heels, but I just don't feel like my heel is too secure in this shoe. It's just a little bit too thin around here, and I don't think Nike, in my opinion, yet, unless you can contradict me in the comments below, have kind of nailed this thin heel cut material thing. I don't know. So first impressions, it's going to be a good shoe. It's going to be a fast shoe. It feels lightweight. The cushioning is great. The outsole is good. It's going to be durable. So I guess in terms of money, bang for your buck, premium price, durability is going to play a big factor. If you can get a decent amount of mileage in these things, which I gather from a lot of you that you can, then yeah, it's probably going to be worth the money. But at the moment, I just didn't get that wow factor. So moving forwards, I'm excited to test this thing on some speed workouts. Tomorrow for me, on Tuesday, or when you see this on that day, I'm going to be doing an interval workout in this shoe. I'm excited to see how it handles it on the concrete, kind of where its forte should be. We'll see how that goes, and then of course I'll bring you my thoughts on that. And then of course we'll do a long run workout in it. Not sure when that's going to happen, because this weekend we have a race and the weekend after we have a race. So I might get a midweek long run done somewhere to test this thing out. But from there, we're just going to probably use this thing. I can see it rivaling the Rincon for my speed work. And depending on how it handles the long runs. As I said, the Zoom X foam is comfortable, it's cushioned, and I think I can go the distance in this shoe. From there, who knows? It's going to need some more miles. 7 is not enough to give you guys a full picture, hence the further reviews. But as first impressions go, I think it's definitely going to be towards the more speedier end of the spectrum. We'll see. I'd love to know if you guys are running the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2, what your thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know. And of course, let me know what shoes you're enjoying at the moment and what shoes you think I should try in the future. Hopefully, we'll get one more pair of shoes before the end of the year in December to try those out. Then we'll have a good collection to give you an all-round review at the end of the year. So that's it, guys, for today. If you enjoyed it, make sure you give it a like, share it with your friends, and of course, do consider subscribing to the channel for weekly running content. And as always, I will see you next time for another running video. Until then.